Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Roses from Ashes. My name is Ricky, and today we're going to talk about post separation abuse, and then we're going to kick off a fearless summer. So, I'm going to be looking at two different models today to explain what is post separation abuse, go through the different spokes of the post separation abuse wheel, give resources for getting professional help to help manage getting through this phase, and then give you Bible verses. There's actually going to be 100 Bible verses that we will be doing over the course of the summer, one per day, praying together because nobody walks alone. The two models that we're going to be looking at are the Duluth model, which is an older model, and the One Mom's Battle model of post separation abuse. I will be linking both of them below so you can look those up. Part of our tools is having knowledge and information about what we're walking through. These are based on research, extensive research into violence, and especially intimate partner violence, and what happens when a woman leaves. So after a relationship ends, the woman leaves, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the abuse stops, particularly if there are children involved, because the family court system can mandate co-parenting counseling, where the woman now has to face the person who has been physically, sexually abusing her and sit in a room and talk with them. It can look like forced communication through co-parenting apps. So if there's no kids, it makes it a lot easier because you can just walk away, block them, get the restraining order, and be very consistent in those boundaries. When there are children involved, it can mean continued abuse that is actually court mandated. So there's a whole different thing to walk through. But in any case, if you're leaving a relationship that has been defined by power and control through fear, that desire for the other person to control you does not stop because the relationship ends. So if there's children involved, the perpetrator will set their sights on exerting control through the children because that's their last connection to you, to terrorize the healthy parent. So when you're having these high conflict divorces and family court battles, there's three defining factors. Basically, you have the abuser's need to continue to control, the abuser's need to win, and the abuser's desire to punish the healthy parent. Post-separation abuse, of course, doesn't just affect the healthy parent. It also is traumatizing to the children. It has both short-term and long-lasting effects on the children and causes high adverse childhood experiences. Now, I want to pause here and say that what I'm going to go over is for informational purposes only, because I want you to be armed with information that can help you understand the situation and get appropriate help. Part of that is going to be reaching out to your local domestic violence organization to get into counseling, to help process through and heal from the traumatic situation. So I will also be linking the hotline.org is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Please reach out. Please consult an attorney. I'm not an attorney. I am not a therapist. I'm just somebody walking through this. And if I have to figure it out, I want to tell everybody else anything I've learned so that we can all just get out of here together. So there are 8 spokes of the post-separation abuse wheel. These are the ways that an abuser will try to maintain power and control through fear after the separation has happened. One is counter-parenting. So this is undermining the safe parent's parenting abilities and decisions. This is denying or withholding consent for the children to get appropriate medical care, refusing their own children to get the medically appropriate standard of care, seeking to impose seeking to impose opposing values on the children. This can also look like, the child is disrespectful to mom. Mom takes away the cell phone, and dad says, "You don't have to listen to your mom. Here's a new cell phone." Or any other consequence that mom might impose. Dad will come back and just purchase a new one and say, "You don't have to listen to her. You don't have to have parental controls on your phone." So those types of counter-parenting. One person I heard of, when the child would get grounded, the dad would actually drive, park, sit under the child's window and pass up like fast food and presents and say, "Well, mom's punishing you, but I got you." So the post-separation abuse counter-parenting is just trying to undermine. The other thing is alienation allegations. So if the child naturally, rightfully says, "I don't want to be around this unsafe person," the abuser will say, "It's because mom's telling them not to want to be around me." The child naturally favors the safe parent and rejects the abusive parent. So the abusive parent goes to court and says, "She's alienating the children from me." The parental alienation claims are lodged against the safe parent as a legal strategy to cast doubt on their credibility. So, mom says, "Hey, this is going on. Like, we're all terrorized and traumatized by this." And dad says, "Oh no, she's a liar and she's alienating the children." It's a legal strategy. And valid claims of abuse are then labeled as alienation by the abusive parent. Very common. Next is neglectful or abusive parenting. So this means that the abuser would expose children to unsafe content, allowing them to view pornography, for example, situations, people, which would create concern and fear in the unsafe, or for the safe parent. This could be, I'm not even making this up, this could be telling the safe parent that they're going to let a known child porn watcher, they're going to babysit the kids. It's crazy what these guys will do. Using violence, intimidation, threats, manipulation, and ridicule to gain compliance from the children. Abusive parents will place their own needs above the needs of the children. And in the Duluth model, a lot of times the abusive parent does not actually want to parent the children. They will coerce another family member, like their mother, to watch the children. So they'll fight for joint custody and then have another family member watch the children just to punish the safe parent to not have time with the children. So they don't even want time with the children. They're going to have somebody else caring for the children, taking care of the house, taking care of the children. But the safe parent is punished by not being able to see the children or spend time with the children. The next spoke on the wheel, this is 4. So we talked about counter-parenting, alienation allegations, neglectful or abusive parenting, and then isolation. This would be spreading rumors and lies to family, friends, teachers, community relationships to discredit the safe parent and destroy their support system and reputation. So this could be showing up at church and talking to the pastor. This could be showing up at school and dropping off their allegations that they've been making to the family court, going to the pediatrician and doing the same. This is painting a false narrative about the safe parent, but it's also projecting. So whatever they're actually doing, they're going to accuse the safe parent of doing. They can also withhold the children's social interactions to try to maintain the abusive parent's sphere of control. Number 5 is harassment and stalking. This could be bombarding the healthy parent with an overwhelming number of emails, phone calls, manipulating, threatening, and abusive messages. It could just be all to do with the child, but you get 95 of them in a single day. This could be monitoring your whereabouts, your social interactions, your social media. Even after they've been blocked, they'll have other people monitoring, logging into your accounts online. terrorizing and intimidating the safe parent with threats about without rising to the level of involving law enforcement. So, if they have known gang members contacting you, but it's somewhat benign, you can't contact the police because a crime has not been committed, but they're letting you know that you're being watched. So this is that kind of sub-legal harassment. And a lot of these guys are experts at being just threatening enough to get their message across without rising to the level of illegal behavior, because they can continue it. They know if they were to overtly do something, come and kick down your door, for example, now there's going to be legal repercussions and then the abuse would have to stop. But if they can just do it just below the radar, just below the legal threshold, they can continue that power and control through fear. Next is legal abuse. So this is a misuse of court proceedings to control, harass, intimidate, coerce, and exhaust the financial and emotional resources of the safe parent. This could be disregarding court orders, making false reports, deliberately causing delays in court proceedings, and making legal threats to assert power and control over the safe parent. So this could be, I know one person who has had 91 violations filed against her by the abuser, and they're not even violations. It's silly stuff like he doesn't like the kid's haircut, so he files a violation. The child doesn't want to go with him because he's an abuser, so he files a violation alleging alienation. So very, very common, misusing the court's resources. And of course, family court is expensive, it's traumatic, and it forces engagement with the abuser. So as somebody is trying to break free and come outside of that sphere of influence, a lot of times this is called lawfare. And another thing that they will do is seek a change in custody as a means of revenge. I saw this happen to another person recently, who was disparaging the mother to a very young child. So the mom ended the phone call. It was on the phone. And so he then responds, "I'm going to take you back to court for custody." He has no custody, no visitation. It's at mom's discretion only because he is an abuser. This happens, and it's for revenge, punishment, and continued control over the safe parent. The next, number 7, is financial abuse. So this would be withholding, mismanaging, or delaying support payments and court-ordered reimbursements, blocking access to bank accounts or other financial resources, interfering or jeopardizing job interviews, employment, career advancement of the safe parent. This could be sending your boss LinkedIn requests or showing up at your job, or trying to overschedule during the workday, things that both parents have to attend, so that your time and attendance suffer. This could be the misuse of litigation to disadvantage the safe parent financially, because family court is expensive. So the money that could be spent on the children is now being spent, or on rent is now being spent. So now you have the threat of homelessness on top of everything, and that's the fear. It's the power and control through fear, and just feeling like every sphere of your life is tainted by this continued abuse. And finally, the last spoke is coercive control. And this is creating a sense of fear that pervades all elements of the safe parent's life. So we've talked about, not being able to go take the kids to the doctor without having the abuser show up, refuse treatment, deny treatment, I don't agree, showing up at your job, or sending your boss notes on LinkedIn, or making you miss work or be late for work, being late for pickups so that you miss work. Every aspect of your life, of the safe parent's life, is affected. Consistently belittling, undermining, shaming, and criticizing the safe parent to abuse them emotionally. This could be strategically manipulating family, friends, community into conflict with a safe parent to remain in control and gain an advantage, that triangulation, trying to cause additional conflict in their lives. and imposing a false narrative to make the safe parent doubt their reality, memory, and perceptions, which was also known as gaslighting. So this could be just saying that never happened, even though we all know what happened. We all know what happened. And sometimes it's good to have other people who have witnessed the abuse who can say, no, I remember I was in the car when he followed you home, or I remember because I was there when he showed up and took your car and keyed my car. But this is that coercive control of trying to say, you're crazy. You're not crazy. It happened. So because all of these 8 spokes on the post-separation abuse wheel are based on power and control through fear, just like the relationship was, what we're going to do is we're going to launch into a fearless summer, because the Bible tells us 140 times, I think, do not fear. So once a day for the rest of the summer, I will be giving you a verse to repeat morning, noon, and night that has to do with not fearing man and trusting the Lord. Because if we can overcome the fear, we can overcome the abuse, because the power and control comes through fear. So we will not fear what man can do. If God is for me, who can be against me? So please subscribe, hit the notifications so you can get they're going to be very short videos for the rest of the summer, which unless the Lord downloads something on my heart to share with you, I'm going to be doing 100 verses. Do not fear, move forward boldly in faith. And yes, you are free, and you will be completely free of this. This is just that last phase to freedom, and you got this. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, keep blooming.